And after this Job answered and spoke a word in scorn, saying,
Cursed be the luckless day that ever I was born. And let it look for light in vain, and morning never see. For from it I came to sorrow, 'tis better I never came to be. For the thing I have greatly feared has come upon me in its wrath, and that I was afraid of has beset me in the path. I was not proud of heart, nor lived in greed or shame. Neither was I presumptuous, and yet my sorrow came.
Alright, I don't really get this.
What?
So Job was like, the thing he greatly feared had come upon him in his wrath. What does that mean?
He lost everything.
Even though he was trying not to.
Yeah, Job would say extra prayers and give extra stuff to God, just to make sure that his kids would be okay.
So Job kind of had to deal with God.
Well, not really. Job was just being good for his kids' sake.
But I mean, does that really work? Can you do that?
Apparently not.
You mean that it didn't matter what Job did, if he was a righteous guy, followed the rules, he would have lost everything anyway?
Right.
That doesn't really seem fair.
No, it's not.
So what does the difference make then? I mean, why would anybody want to be good?
I don't know.
Then Eliphaz the Temanite spoke first and answered thus.
If we speak to comfort thee, will you be mad with us? Remember now in thy wealth, and we have instructed many, and you have strengthened weakened hands, often and more than any. Your words have cheered the breaking heart, and strengthened the feeble knee. And you have upheld lots of men that would have fallen except for thee. But now it comes to be your turn, and you fall beneath the weight. It touches you, and you are down, and your fear is very great. Where is your hope and confidence? Is this your innocence displayed? Where is your... Does this look like righteousness and the blessing of your way? Has ever the righteous perished or been cut off before his day? Iniquity and wickedness shall reap the crop they sow. By the blast of God they perish. That's the men of old they know. Now, last night I had a vision. In secret it was brought. I heard some of what was told me as I lay entranced in thought. Before my face a spirit passed, as my hair stood upon its end, but I could not discern its form, whether it be foe or friend. As it stood there in the stillness, I heard a voice which said,
Can a mortal be found guiltless, more pure than God instead? He finds his angels guilty. How much more those made of clay? Can you be more right than God? Is this what you would say?
I have seen the foolish taking root and spreading far and wide. But suddenly his house was gone, and God had checked his pride. Now his children none delivered, and the place of power struck down. His harvest lies among the thorns, coming spontaneous from the ground. Yet a man is born to trouble. Misfortune is his share. I'd seek God if I were you. To him commit your cares. Behold, the man is happy, whom God corrects in love. Therefore despise not in vain his chastening from above. Surely he shall bless your latter end, and your offspring shall increase. You shall surely be kept in safety, and your life be kept in peace.
Of that I would have my request, that God would grant to me, the thing that I have most longed for, to die and cease to be. Your words are like rushing waters, overflowing in times of spring. Those who listen for hope for healing, yet in summer there is none to bring. Your words have cut and do not mend. You have mocked me with your kindness. There is no light now for your friend, only darkness and blindness. When you see me, you are fearful, only thinking of yourself. Yet have I ever asked your favor, or only looked out for myself? Can you now bring restoring, or give back to me my help? Look at me. Would I lie to you? Can you now show me what is true? I hate my life and would not live it. Please just leave me by myself. God forgive me, for I cannot bear it. Turn your gaze away from me. Before I leave this life, I declare it, I shall soon cease to be.
Alright, so let me get this right. He had a vision of a spirit asking him a question.
Yeah, I guess.
So was it like an angel, a demon, what was it?
I don't know.
So you're telling me he doesn't know what it was, but he was still using it to question Job.
Yep.
That doesn't seem right either.
That is the problem with people trying to figure out what God is doing in someone else's life.
But what if he really did see a spirit?
Does that matter?
Well, no, I mean, I don't think so.
Well, Bildad takes it to mean that Job is guilty and deserves to lose everything.
And Job...
He believes that God is sovereign and can do what he wants.
How long will you blow words wind with empty words? Can you go on mocking God with your wisdom? Your children must have sinned against him, so their punishment was well deserved. Go seek out the voice of our fathers. It is their wisdom that must be heard. Behold, God will not cast away the just and perfect man. Neither will he help the bad, nor prosper evil's plan.
Yes, I know this is true, but you still do not see. How can a man be right with God and still a mortal be? His voice can shake the mountains, the stars are put in place. The Bear, Orion, and Pleiades fill up this empty space. He is so far beyond me that I can't even see. If he walked beside me, I still could not perceive. How can I approach him? Who will plead my case? There must be someone that I can speak with to bring me face to face. It is his hand that made me. He fashioned my life from clay. I loathe my life and wish it better to never have seen the day.
You're so full of boasting. You still think you're right. God can see your secret sins. Will you contend with his might? God, can you explain his mysteries? Wider than the oceans, stretching beyond the sky? Higher than the heavens, it is the wicked that will die. Witless men will come to wisdom when a donkey is born tame. God has given you less than you deserve for all this mocking of his name.
All right, now remember, he's really mocking his friends. He's sarcastic. Proceed.
You are the only wise men in the world. What then will you do? When you die, your wisdom, it will also perish with you. What a hopeless cause. Who will ever know the truth? I have heard of your counsel, and in it is nothing new. Yet you are so certain that only you speak what is true. Yet I believe that God is sovereign over all the affairs of man. Just as the animals, they'll tell you, the breath of every living thing is all within his plan. The tents of robbers prosper, the sinners are secure. He brings abundance to their land and makes their fortune sure. With God as strength and wisdom, he holds counsel not in vain. He sends raging waters out and dries them up again. Listen to words I speak. Is this not right to you? For God has his way with princes, from prisons to their thrones. He puts one up, another one down, and gives a king his crown. But you are doctors of no value and forgers of lies. If only you would hold your peace, then you would be truly wise. Will you now speak for God and be the defender of his might? Do you need to take his side so you can prove that he is right? My hope is in God alone. With him I plead my case. Let me now speak with God before it is too late. Yet though he takes my life, of this one thing I'm sure. I trust in his sovereign hand. In him I am secure. Too few days and too many troubles. A life of pain and sorrow. When will I awake from this fate and taste of my tomorrow?
Alright, hold up. So, I thought these three guys were Job's friends.
They are.
But they're blaming him, saying that, because Job's children were bad, that he's getting blamed for it.
Yeah.
That's like telling them the victims' families on the Twin Towers that it was their fault they died because of their sins.
Pretty much.
Well, that kind of makes God sound pretty mean.
Yep.
You're not really helping.
Well, according to Job's friends, somebody has to be blamed for all this stuff.
But why?
Or else Job went through all this for no fault but his own.
Yeah, so?
That means that life is not fair then. If the wicked prosper and the righteous suffer for no reason, then God can't possibly let that happen. Or
what?
He's not worth serving anyways.
Ah, gotcha. Wait, no, now I'm really confused.
Why is that?
Because Job seems to trust God.
Mm-hmm.
So even though he is treated unfairly, he has lost everything, and his friends are blaming him.
Pretty much.
This really isn't getting any easier.
I know, it gets more painful.
I just don't understand how somebody could actually still hold on to this God who obviously seems to have treated him so badly.
I know, it's like Job wants to hold on to this God.
Even though it cost him so much.
I know, it's like he loves him or something.
That's too much for me to handle.
That's what Job's religious friends think too.
What are you aware of? What insights have you missed? There is something you must know. Of this I do insist. Consider the men of long ago. Their lessons still are true. Those who make up their own rules are a fruitless, barren crew.
Enough of this. Enough, I say. Many such things you've taught. Miserable friends are you. All empty words for naught. At you I could heap up words. At you I'd shake my head. But now, through your consuming lies, I have heaviness instead. In heaven there must be someone who alone will plead my case. In heaven, the highest advocate, who will wipe tears from my face. My champion, my friend, draw near to me this hour. Bear witness to my innocence, you alone possess the power. As a man pleads for his neighbor, he will plead for me. I call upon the Lord above, I soon will cease to be.
Of your witless words, will you ever make an end? Are we not as smart as you, the one we call our friend? Shall the world adjust accordingly to what you say is true? Is God's work of mystery understood by you? It is the wicked that shall suffer, vanishing out of sight. You will look and not find them in the darkest night. And their families will perish, their prosperity will end. Stored up before them is their portion, be their foe or friend.
How long will you continue to vex my weary soul, and break me with the bitterness of words without control? The dwellers of my household, the servants of my hand, they count me as a stranger and an alien in the land. Friends, won't you just have pity? Can't you see that I'm not the cause? I cannot blame any of you. It is the hand of God. My flesh shall soon be consumed. This body will decay. Yet still my Redeemer lives. To him you shall have to pay. For he shall soon punish wickedness. What then will you say?
Have you heard from long ago, since mankind filled the earth with prayers, those who worship idols forfeit the grace that could be theirs? His bounty is only for a season. His children will soon be dead. His judgment will soon come, and be left with bitterness instead.
Please, listen to me carefully, so you may understand. You can mock me later and refuse wisdom from my hand. Why do the wicked live so well, living rich and strong to the end? They live to see their children's children and never need a friend. They live in peace and safety and die painlessly in their sleep. God is not a concern at all. They laugh at his decrees. Who needs to acknowledge God or follow him, they say? What benefit does it bring to honor him anyway? But God will get them in the end, of this one thing you are sure. Why must he wait until then, my friend, to bring to us some cure? Maybe they will understand the path that they chose to lead. God can bring some comfort then to those who will believe. Have you not observed the wicked when they die? Their casket is nicely finished, with no shortness of supply. Lowered into the wealthy graves, all to gather around, they say. How wonderful they were to know, their condolences to pay.
Alright, you want to explain this to me? So why are Job's friends so angry with him anyway?
That's all what religious people do. They don't have any other choice.
I don't understand that.
If Job is right, like he actually is innocent, then his friends are wrong.
Yeah, I get that part.
But if they're wrong, that means God is guilty of doing evil by letting the truly righteous suffer.
And he's not right?
So his friends only have two options. Either Job's kids are directly responsible for sinning, or Job is to blame for his own sin that God took out on his family.
Those aren't really good options. Do I have to choose one?
That's the problem. They said he wasn't following the rules set up by God.
So that's why they get all defensive?
Yes, because Job's life is an exception to how they have so wisely figured out how God runs the world.
But then it can happen to them too, right?
Yes, you see, it's easy to believe in this God who acts according to the rules. Your life can be very predictable.
And safe.
Right, you're protected and prosperous, as long as you play your cards right.
Kind of wish my life was really like that.
Are you so righteous that God must approve? I suppose he's jumping up and down over you.
Behold, I search in front of me, yet he is not there, and behind me, but I cannot see this person anywhere. He has no right to treat me like this. I have done nothing wrong.
Yet you are still here blaming him, singing the same sad song?
Besides, we are just worms who don't understand his ways.
Is God proving you righteous? Don't be a fool.
God is always right. Those are words you say.
And you, a mere mortal, stand above the rules?
Go seek out the voice of our fathers.
It is their wisdom that must be heard.
Ask the men of old, they know.
Thanks, guys. You've helped me so much. I'll repeat back to you what you said. Consider the wicked, he won't last long. His wickedness just won't pay. He won't have enough food. His children will die violent, horrible deaths, maybe even all on the same day. They will go to bed wealthy and wake up poor. The righteous will inherit all that they own. God will surely settle the score. You have shared so much wisdom. I don't know what I could do without you.
Have to search out wisdom. It is hidden like gold. No matter what you say, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You must turn from evil. For your sins you will pay.
So Job is okay with believing in God while he's still suffering.
Yep.
But his friends still think he is to blame.
Mm-hmm.
But he isn't to blame, right?
Right. Job still trusts in God.
But what about his friends?
They're too busy trying to defend God.
Yeah, but why do they do that?
They don't want Job to turn away from God, so they try to explain him in terms that seem understanding.
But Job doesn't want to turn away from God, even though he's lost by everything.
Right, Job is determined. He's looking for God, and he wants to wait to hear from him personally.
But it seems like the whole time, Job's friends are just trying to defend God by accusing Job. They aren't showing Job God at all.
Yeah, they're so concerned with being right and controlling the outcome with their words, they're pushing Job away.
But are they really devoted believers?
And the best thing that they could do is to silently hope with them.
Where is the peace of understanding? How shall it be sought? In heaven's heights or depths beneath? All pursued and left for naught? God understands wisdom's way, and he knows well its place. For he sees to the ends of the earth, all of those in his embrace. Why do they hate him and prosper still, and never feel his rod? Yet surely their day will come, and feel the wrath of God. The fear of you to you is wisdom, to turn from evil in your way. Oh, that God were my friend again, as I have been so blessed. When my children were once around me, my life was at its best. I stood in the important place to come to judgment seat, and I made those decisions for those I came to meet. The young men saw me coming and hid themselves in shame. The old men rose up to greet me, expectant when I came. When I spoke, there was silence. None would interrupt. They also sought my counsel, all men I could instruct. I looked after the men of old, and despised not the poor. The foreigner and widow were my friend. I took care of them for the Lord. And I said, my days shall be multiplied, even as numerous as the sand. And I shall die in peace and rest, when my time is at hand. But now the young men mock me, and all who see me scorn. As I am held in contempt, insults have become the norm. I look to God in vain hope, yet he does not hear me cry. I looked for God, and evil came. Now I stand alone and sigh. For what I have to do with God, that he should hear me cry, I confess everything now before I die. Yet my integrity to him I hold, even until the end. And I look to God's judgment now, for he has been my friend.
And with those words, Job was ended. He will wait in silence, even as a much younger friend, Eliphaz, attempts to speak some truth to him. Job will hold his tongue until he hears from God. All those who he thought were his friends turned against him to defend their own need for God, to run the world according to their own understanding. All of them failed to trust in God's sovereign ability to govern the world full of beauty and untamable freedom.